你问问题还在说 Excuse me？ 难道没有别的方式让你显得更专业、更自然吗？那就今天让我们来听听不同的问问题的方式。Hello， 欢迎来到 Executive Plus 主管双语沟通力的 podcast。我们希望带给大家最实用的沟通工具，包括了成功人士对全球市场的分享、职场英语的技能、跨文化沟通技巧与其他能帮助您成为出色领导者的工具。Hi, I'm Sherry, founder of Executive Plus. As a language trainer and certified coach, I've trained hundreds of managers from Fortune 500 companies such as Dior, Google, Deloitte, and Yahoo.
And I'm Nick, Director of Communication Strategy at Presentality. I've helped startups raise millions of US dollars in funding and train the executives of publicly listed companies to present on the global stage.
Welcome to the Executive Plus podcast,
where you can take your communication and language skills from good to great. Hey everyone, welcome back to Executive Plus podcast. Have you ever been in a situation where you want to ask a question? We all have. And the most common go-to is, hey, I have a question. But if the person you're in the room with is a sarcastic ass like myself, their answer may be, I have an answer.
Yeah, I remember when I was working and back at school. This is always something that I opened with when I want to ask a question. I always go, I have a question. But 那个时候老板啊，不管同事，他们都会很开心的回答说 I have an answer. 觉得很烦。And same goes with my handsome co-host partner. So, when you have a question, 我知道大部分人都可能会说 excuse me, 或者是 oh, I have a question, 或许可以有其他更好、更专业、更自然的方式。
So let's switch it up and talk about a few other ways that you can ask a question without the excuse me, I have a question. The simplest way is drop the excuse me. Being polite is always important, but it's oftentimes better to be quick with your question rather than drag out your question over a long time. A lot of times you'll see people at a convention and they want to ask a question. They'll be like, oh, excuse me, I have a question, and then give like a 30-second long explanation about how they admire the person or they like the person, and then get to the question. But when you're in a time limit, it's better just to go, here's my question. So you can just use phrases like, if you don't mind me asking, or do you happen to know, or do you happen to have, and then get to your question very quickly.
Yeah. I mean, I use that a lot. Do you happen to know where the bathroom is?
Excuse me, I have a question. Where's the bathroom?
Do you happen to know where the bathroom is? I mean, how direct is that, right?
Right.
So, I mean, I use these quite a lot when I'm just, out and about, or you needed to ask about, again, if you're in a hotel, need to know if they have anything for you, any kind of like amenities for you. So, yeah, these two are very, very useful. 但是如果我们需要比如说人家在讲话，那这个时候呢，你必须要赶快的问一个问题，因为你不希望他可能再讲下去的话，可能时间拖很久，或者是他有个点，他有点误会了，所以你必须要kind of interrupt. But how do you interrupt and ask a question without sounding impolite?
This can be pretty simple, but instead of excuse me, you can just use sorry. Same thing, one word instead of two words. And you could say, sorry for interrupting, but I'd like to know, and then something else. Or, pardon me for interrupting. Can I jump in and ask this question?
And you can also say, oh, before you move on, I'd like to clarify one thing, right? Just kind of very clear, before you keep talking, stop for a second. Before you move on, I'd like to clarify one thing.
Or, can I interject something? Can I interject something?
I think this is it's often used in America.
This is often used in meetings, or again, when you get into that conference call situation and there's a bit of a delay. If you break it up into too many parts, you're like, excuse me, and then the person's talking and then they stop and then you don't know if you go or not. But by just getting it all out at once, sorry, can I interject something really quick? and just that whole phrase allows someone to know exactly what you want to do.
Right. 那其实在 interrupt 人家的时候，这个时候一个很重要的技巧就是 when you go sorry for interrupting but 你马上接下来就是你的问题，你不用一直去等人家说OK， 其实不需要，因为这个时候我们是希望能够赶快把这件事情能够to clarify, right? So you kind of just move on with your question real quick and let them kind of reply or give you an answer.
Right. So if you go, sorry for interrupting, but can I ask a question? You've now interrupted them and then lengthened the entire exchange. But if you say, sorry for interrupting, but could you please clarify this point? Then one and done.
Right, exactly. In one go, right?
Yeah.
So now, if you have a more specific type of questions that you wanted to ask. Now, this could be, when you're in class or when you're in a meeting. This is very useful. You could say, could you please elaborate on?
Or, could you please reframe or rephrase this? I don't fully understand. By using reframe or rephrase, again, I'm asking something specific.
Right, yeah. 其实我真的觉得 elaborate, reframe, rephrase 这三个字都会比比如说 explain 或者是 say it again 都更好，因为它其实是更专业的方法，而且你希望对方他会给你更多的 information.
Right. We hope these phrases help you the next time that you need to ask a question and you're tired of saying, excuse me, I have a question. You can use a little bit different or, again, a more specific type question to get exactly what you want.
So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode and we'll talk to you guys later.
Bye.
Bye. 如果你喜欢我们的 podcast， 欢迎来追踪我们的主管英文 Executive Plus 的 Facebook。那也可以写信到我们的信箱 yourcareerplus@gmail.com。